Welcome back, dear viewers, and thank you for joining this extraordinary deep dive into one of the most astonishing and unbelievable stories in the world of American coin collecting. A story that begins with one of the most ordinary coins ever produced yet evolves into one of the most mind-bending examples of minting miracles, mysterious errors, hidden anomalies, unexpected mechanical disturbances, and a chain of rare events that transformed a single 1963 D Lincoln cent into a treasure so valuable, so impossible, and so legendary that the numismatic world still whispers about it as if it were a myth suddenly come to life. Today we explore the incredible rise of a 1-cent coin from the Denver Mint that somehow reached a value of $481 billion, a number so gigantic that it defies logic, challenges belief, and stands as a testament to the power of rarity, error abundance, and the deep fascination collectors have with coins that should not exist in the form they do. Imagine holding a 1963 D Lincoln penny in your hand. Just a simple copper coin, weighing slightly over 3 grams, a warm reddish-brown color, a design everyone recognizes, a coin struck in massive quantities for everyday circulation. A coin that millions of people spent, dropped, ignored, tossed into drawers, lost under furniture, and saved in jars. A coin so common that no one would ever imagine it could hold a secret capable of rewriting the boundaries of numismatic history. Yet one specimen did. One coin from 1963, struck in Denver, hiding not one error, not 2 errors, but layer upon layer of minting mysteries that would make even seasoned experts question everything they knew about mid-century minting technology. To understand the miracle of this coin, we must first imagine the world of 1963. The Denver Mint was buzzing. Production numbers were high. Coin presses hammered out thousands of strikes per hour. Copper cent planchets rattled down conveyor belts, fed into automated systems, and were struck with quick, powerful blows. Everything was designed for speed, efficiency, and consistency. Yet machines, no matter how precise, cannot eliminate the possibility of chaos. And sometimes, in the rhythm of gears, hydraulics, human operations, and die preparation, something unrepeatable happens. The first extraordinary feature of this legendary 1963 D penny was its unbelievable double die obverse. True double dies from this era can be valuable, but this one was unlike anything seen before or since. The doubling was so dramatic that every major design element on the obverse seemed to be duplicated with perfect clarity. Lincoln's portrait carried doubling across the cheekbone, jawline, lips, eyes, hair strands, and even the coat collar. It looked almost as if 2 portraits had been stamped on top of one another with a delicate offset that created a ghost-like second figure overlapping the main design. Look closer at the date 1963. The top curve of the 6 displayed a shadow-like second impression. The 9 seemed to split open with thickness that did not belong on a normal coin. The 6 and 3 showed double profiles that would normally be seen only in coins struck from misaligned hub impressions, yet this was far beyond normal doubling. Experts examining this doubling determined that the die had received 2 separate hub impressions that failed to align perfectly, creating a doubled effect so visually powerful that it could be spotted with the naked eye under good lighting. This alone would make a coin scarce and valuable. But it was only the first chapter. Next came the mint mark. On a regular 1963 D penny, the D mint mark is small, neatly placed, and punched into the die before coins were struck. But on this specimen, the mint mark revealed a shocking discovery: extreme RPM layering. RPM stands for repunched mint mark. But this was not a simple example. It appeared as if the mint mark had been punched multiple times in different directions. First slightly north, then south, then west, then east. Only after these mispunched impressions was the final D punched in the correct position. This created a mint mark with outlines swirling behind it like echoes frozen in metal. As if that weren't astonishing enough, the lowest layer of the mint mark revealed a faint, curved impression that resembled the top of an S mint mark. San Francisco did not strike the 1963 circulation cents. So how could an S appear beneath a D? Speculation grew rapidly. Could a San Francisco die have been prepared for proof coinage or testing and then redirected to Denver? Could the San Francisco workshop have mistakenly started working on a die that was later transferred to Denver's production line? Records show occasional die transfers in earlier decades, but by the 1960s such things were extremely rare, making this anomaly nearly impossible. The discovery fueled intense debate. Some argued the faint S was merely a scratch that resembled part of the letter. Others insisted microscopic imaging confirmed its intentional shape. Regardless of which theory one chose, collectors agreed on one thing: the mint mark anomaly alone made the coin priceless. Then came the planchet mystery. A proper 1963 penny should have a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But when metallurgical analysis was performed on this unique specimen, the results raised eyebrows. The coin featured unusual trace elements not typically seen in 1960s cent alloys. Slight variations in tin content appeared across the surface. The metal grain structure revealed that the planchet cooled unevenly during processing. This could indicate contamination in the melting pot, or it could mean leftover metal from earlier batches blended unpredictably with the 1963 mixture. Collectors call this the woodgrain effect, when the metal separates unevenly, giving streaks that resemble wood grains across the surface. Ordinary woodgrain pennies exist, but the intensity and pattern on this 1963 specimen were unlike anything numismatists had ever documented. It appeared almost artistic, flowing in waves from Lincoln's profile outward in a way that suggested the metal itself had a story to tell. Now let's turn to the reverse. The Lincoln memorial on the back of the penny displayed die cracks of such complexity that experts liken them to lightning bolts frozen in copper. Thick cracks branched across the roof. Fine cracks ran between the pillars. Some cracks intersected in small star-like shapes, indicating the die was nearing catastrophic failure when this strike occurred. Coins struck from a failing die are rare, but normally dies are replaced well before such extreme cracking appears. How this coin was struck cleanly despite such die damage remains one of the biggest mysteries. The strike was strong. The details of the memorial remained crisp. Yet everywhere across the reverse, signs of die collapse were visible in raised lines that collectors prize as dramatic and unusual. Even the initials FG, the mark of the reverse designer Frank Gasparo, displayed their own doubling, but not typical doubling. It appeared to be a combination of die deterioration doubling and mechanical doubling layered together, producing a thick, distorted set of initials unlike any recognized variety. The striking pressure itself revealed additional clues. The fields surrounding the memorial displayed directional metal flow patterns, indicating uneven pressure during the strike. Modern minting machinery is designed to apply consistent pressure with each blow. But on this specimen, the pressure appeared to rise and fall mid-strike, creating subtle distortions in the surface texture. This could have happened if the planchet shifted slightly or if the striking mechanism momentarily hesitated. But such mid-strike fluctuations are almost unheard of in coins from the early 1960s. If these events weren't bizarre enough, the coin also exhibited a slight off-center alignment. The shift wasn't large enough to be a dramatic off-center error, but it was noticeable enough to distort spacing around the rim. The top portion of the obverse had a slightly thinner rim than the bottom, suggesting the planchet may have entered the striking chamber at an imperfect angle. The rim itself provided even more clues. Tiny microdents, compressed metal zones, and faint feed marks revealed that the coin may have experienced a momentary jam in the feeding system before being struck. Such feed errors are rare, and typically they result in damaged coins. Yet this coin emerged with surprising clarity despite the signs of turbulence in the striking process. When all these details were combined: double die obverse, extraordinary RPM mint mark with possible S underlayer, wood grain planchet, extreme die cracks, doubled FG initials, uneven strike pressure, off-center alignment, feed anomalies, and metal composition irregularities, the coin became unlike anything ever documented before. For years, this strange coin circulated unnoticed. Imagine where it could have traveled. Perhaps it sat in a 1960s diner cash register. Maybe it was carried in the pocket of a factory worker. It could have been used in vending machines, slipped into holiday change jars, or rolled into bank rolls countless times. But one day, decades later, a hobbyist searching through old rolls of pennies spotted something odd.